Oh, Bears fans, I'm with you. I'm with you on this one. That's like 6 or 7 games in the last 2 years that Matt Eberflus had a 95% chance or more in the last couple minutes of the game to win, and he's found a way to lose it. So, bear down as always. This is more than ever time to bear down. I didn't realize when I was naming the channel Bear Down Sports that that's what this would be, is an eternal misery fan base that just cannot cross the line, can't get over that little hump to be able to be the dominant team, but here we are. Here we are. Tough one, 2019. As always, thank you for tuning in. I'm Adam Mason. I think a lot of you know by now, but if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, liking this for the algorithm, getting it out there. I do have some perspectives that are a little different than other guys out there, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. So thank you so much for tuning in. We go over the PFF grades after each and every game. We analyze that. We also break it down in context of how they played, because PFF grades don't give the entire picture. I say that constantly, but they are a good benchmark. They're a good grade to be able to go off of to see how these guys played. First of all, though, number one right off the bat, that guy on the screen right there. This is right before halftime, celebrating as we punched in Roschon Johnson's touchdown. He was hyped up. He was fired up. He wants this job. He wants to be able to be a part of this team. Obviously, his ties to Chicago. He wants to stay here, and he did admirably. Thomas Brown, offensive coordinator, interim. You can say interim, but the new offensive coordinator for the Bears. Excellent job by him. Played a great game. The biggest thing I want to point out that I learned in the press conference today was how quickly he's getting the play call into Caleb after the previous play ends. They said it's night and day difference between how Shane Waldron did it, that he would get it in. That gives Caleb time to process it, get it to the other guys on the field, be able to set up the play, get to the line, audible it if need be, but he's getting it in extremely quickly. That is huge. Another plus, another check mark on Thomas Brown of how he's improving this team, because Caleb looks so in sync, so in function, so clean, complete, in control of the offense. It looked really, really good. If you guys missed this video from earlier today, go check it out. A lot of people are making this connection right now, but a lot of people are saying, well, the Bears couldn't have gone for the extra play. We should have kneeled it. We should have, take the timeout. We should have let the clock die down before the field goal. No. Jim Harbaugh did the exact opposite thing in their game, and J.K. Dobbins broke through for a rushing touchdown. Am I saying we would have got a rushing touchdown there? No, not saying that. But to settle for a Cairo Santos 46-yard field goal when he's perfect in his time in Chicago, perfect this year, 17 for 17, inside of 40 yards, it's a fireable offense. It's pussyfoot. It is tiptoe. We're not going to go over it too much. I'll put the link in the comments. I'll put the link in the description of this video to go check that one out, because it was absolutely very do not lose the game type of coaching, and that's not what we need in Chicago. We need a winner to go out and dominate. All right, we'll make me little and get right to it. I like to go over the PFF grades with you guys to be able to show how they did. I give little insights for those who don't subscribe to PFF on how the game went. Where is my little bear down logo? There he is. Hello, little bear down logo. Hello, little buddy. All right, I use this thing to point around, little logo of the channel. Caleb Williams with the number one, the highest PFF grade of any player in this game, 85.2, and he did have himself a game. We'll get into quarterback play in just a minute. Braxton Jones, 82.0. We're starting with the offensive studs first. Rome Odunze, good game receiving. They need to get him more incorporated. They need to change a few things, but Rome looked really good. DJ Moore looked really good. Coleman Shelton, who I have defended all year, guys, and a lot of you guys are still crapping on him, had a great game, 73.7 PFF grade. Ryan Bates, I don't think his game was this good, but he only had 7 total plays. We'll see if he can get healthy. That's going to be one of those things that's up in the air. We got ourselves another Lucas Patrick is what we got in Ryan Bates. A lot of potential, a lot of opportunity for him, but can't stay healthy, and that's Lucas Patrick to a core. So Darnell Wright had a decent game. I still expect more from our top 10 pick right tackle. Roschon Johnson, really good game. Jake Kierhan came in. He really did. They put him at right tackle, but that's just where he came in, and then he shifted over for Ryan Bates. A guard is what he played, and then DJ Moore, Matt Pryor. Matt Pryor, his stats will look better than I think he played, especially on the field goal attempt to end the game. Matt Pryor, he can't. And the one play where he was supposed to, off the snap, go and motion. What's the right word? Not motion. Pull. When he's supposed to pull, he's just late. He's late getting out of his stance, so that's not Matt Pryor's weakness. He's his strength. He's a decent pass blocking guard tackle. But he's not good at pulling. He's not good at getting somewhere. He's not good at that field goal. He didn't pop up quick enough and get blocking his guy. So a little bit of a weakness there. But overall, some good players in this game. Let's look at the pass blocking for this game. We're going to have to move me up again. Boop. There we go. So here's our big boys, our pass blockers. You see they credit Braxton with the 1 sack. 4 pressures from Braxton, 3 from Darnell Wright. So from the tackle spot, we're getting the most pressures. But that's good that our interior guys were defending there. So Coleman Shelton, 0 pressures on 39 opportunities. Pass blocks, 42 opportunity there. And 0 pressures allowed. Jake Curhan, he was in for most of the game. 38, 1 pressure. So that's really good for him to come in and fill in like that. Matt Pryor, 42 opportunities, 0 pressures. So from the inside, they got no pressure. The Packers got no pressure from the inside. I had to get pushed to the outside. And Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright did pretty good. When you're only allowing 11 pressures on the entire game, that's pretty solid. So there's our pass blocking for the game. Here is our, on the year, our pass block efficiency. And this is something that we want to see continue to improve. Look down here at week 11, 88.5. We want that right there. That's really good. They say we only got 8 pressures on the game. 8 pressure snaps is probably what it is, and 1 sack total. There were 3 sacks, as we know, but a couple of those not attributed to the offensive line is what they're saying. So the Bears have moved up to 22nd this year, 83.5. At the peak, we were right around 17, 18, and around 85 pass blocking efficiency. So it's good to see a little improvement. This week was clearly an improvement. And against a solid team, the Packers are not chump change when it comes to their defensive pressure. So it was a good opportunity for the Bears. They took advantage of it. The line, I mentioned during the game, the line looked very in sync, like they were playing for their jobs. They did a good job. I was very happy with the line in this game. It gives me hope moving forward for the rest of the year that they can pull some things off. Bumped that grade up to 83.5 overall on the year. We're still at 22nd, but opportunity to raise back up. If we would have stayed right around the 85, we'd be right in the middle of the pack right now, but that's not where we are. We're down at 22. So good improvement, though, for the line on this game. All right, in my pre-game video, I had this where the Bears had given up 48 sacks this year, 15 in the last 2 weeks, and the Bears had to improve on this. And the biggest way they would do that, I'm not going to reiterate everything here from before my pre-game video, but they wanted to get the ball out quickly. The big thing they did with that was in the first half, Caleb got the ball out in under 2 seconds. That's the quickest in the entire NFL this year. Screen passes, quick slants. They got the ball out of his hands quickly. Now, for the entire game, he got it out in 2.77 seconds, which is good. That's pretty average, right in the middle of the pack. But it gave him a 95 NFL passer rating, so it was good. He still allowed a lot of sacks when it came to the pressures he did get, because he only got pressured 8 to 11 times, and he allowed those 3 sacks. But the last couple in the game, you can see those weren't all on Caleb. So I'm not gonna bust Caleb up over this. I thought he did a good job. Overall, though, 85 grade today, 80.4 passing, 75 rushing, and he did really good job. I didn't put the rushing stats on here. Definitely worth mentioning. Caleb, 9 carries, 70 yards, and he said he felt very comfortable in it, that his legs can be an opportunity and a weapon for him. But on the day, 23 for 31, 74% completion percentage, so very improved on the year overall. 231 yards, 2 big-time throws, 0 turnover-worthy plays again, 77.4 adjusted completion percentage, which to me is the big benchmarker, and 75 and above is where you want your guys to be. 77 is a lot better. Above 80 is elite. So we like that adjusted completion percentage being up in this game. 95.0 NFL pass rating. He did miss a couple passes he should have hit. So there's some room for improvement. But that last drive of the game, Caleb once again took this team down for a game-winning drive when it mattered, when it was clutch. And then we blew it for him. Did it against the Commanders twice in the Commanders game. So I like what we're seeing out of our rookie generational quarterback. I know a lot of you don't want me to use generational with him until he becomes generational, but that's how he was touted, so we're going to phrase it that way. But it was big progress for him. This is a big game with Thomas Brown, for the two of them getting together, working their system out. Thomas getting the play calls in quickly, being able to touch and coordinate and get through it in game. Because one of the biggest things you heard, DJ Moore last week said that Shane Waldron wouldn't adjust in game until halftime. And then the other team would adjust at halftime too. And then his adjustments would be delayed or be irrelevant because the other team already adjusted. So this is huge to have a play caller that actually has confidence, knows what he's doing, and then gets the play in quickly, knows how he wants to adapt and adjust, and then did it. So I think it's going to give Caleb a ton of confidence moving forward. It's a huge thing for this team. All right, back to the offensive line. Run blocking, if you guys didn't see in game, I did on Twitter a little snippet of it. Braxton Jones absolutely pancaking, getting out there for the DeAndre Swift run. A huge run blocking. That's going to boost his run blocking grade, 88.2. Rome Odunze had a run blocking grade of 86.3, so that's huge out of him. Those who don't remember, at the beginning of the year, Rome was struggling with his run blocking, with his getting in front of the defenders, of the cornerbacks, of the nickelback, getting it in front of who he needed to get in front of. So huge for Rome to be up there. DJ Moore, always pretty solid. Darnell Wright, Coleman Shelton, Ryan Bates, all decent as well. And then you get down the list. Some of these guys down the list, not quite as good as they should be, not up to snuff. Gerald Everett, I've been disappointed all year in with everything about his game, but forward we go. All right, on to the defensive studs of the game. And this is harder, guys, because our defense let us down this game, especially our secondary and the coverage grades. But Josh Blackwell only in for 2 snaps, but had the highest grade of the game. Terrell Smith with the interception. He might need to take a few more snaps away from Tyreek Stevenson. I think he may be earning his role. The former late rounder, 7th rounder out of Minnesota, same year as Tyreek Stevenson, Tyreek's 2nd rounder. But Terrell Smith is proving that hard work and perseverance pay off. He got his first interception of his career in this game. And Tyreek Stevenson was constantly out of position against the guy who was defending, the wide receivers. Very early on in the game, he got lost, turned around for a huge completion that Jordan Love had no business making, but because Tyreek Stevenson got lost, his receiver was open by 5-10 yards. So I'm high on Terrell Smith right now, and if he's earning it, I say let him have a start or two. Let him see how he does, because it doesn't matter if he's a 2nd rounder, 3rd rounder, 4th rounder, 7th rounder. Guys have constantly said that. Once you're on the team, that's all that matters. Then you go prove yourself. So I like what I'm seeing out of Terrell Smith. Zach Pickens needs to be highlighted in this game. Last year, as a rookie, he was terrible at his run defense. He was terrible at his pass rush more than his run defense. He was a struggling rookie. Very average, middle of the pack that you want to see someone put in the work in the offseason and improve. Zach Pickens, since he's been back from injury, has looked really solid. And it's not just his PFF grade. When you watch him on tape, and we'll get to the pressure rates as well, he looks really good. DeMarcus Walker had a decent game. Jonathan Owens in very few snaps, but had a good game. Jervon Dexter had a good game. TJ Edwards, good at tackling, terrible at coverage grade. So his 66 grade would have been a lot better if his coverage grade was better. Montez Sweat had a decent game. For Montez, he needs to pick it up. He's really struggling, in my opinion. He's not having the best game that he had. So before the game, I pointed this out. Here's your running yards per game. This was one of the keys to the game because the Packers had the 3rd highest running yards per game. The Bears were 24th in rushing yards defended. And one of the keys was defending Josh Jacobs. And I said if we can keep him below 100 yards, we can win this game. Well, we did. 76 yards rushing for Josh Jacobs. Very average, very below average game for him. Mediocre game. But we obviously put ourselves in position to win it. So it was right on spot with it. But here's our run defense. Overall grades right there of everybody on the team. And I thought we did a good job of shutting Josh Jacobs down. I think his longest yardage for the game was like 12 yards, which for Josh Jacobs, if you can hold him to those low runs, that's great. I mean, the Bears did their job for the most part. Here's the pass rush, though. This is the part that I really, for those saying we have to take offensive line in the upcoming draft, no. We need rush defense. There's a lot of really good defensive tackles in this upcoming class, and there's a lot of really good defensive ends. The highest grade on our pass rush was 64.5, and I say starter quality 65. This was not a good game for our pass rush. 1 sack on our part and only 11 pressures. It's not good. So our PRP, our win rates, they were all pretty low. Especially players like Darrell Taylor, only 3 snaps, but he got nothing done. Byron Cowart did absolutely nothing. He got pushed around. If you watch the tape, he got pushed around when he was in there. Same as Chris Williams. Austin Booker did absolutely nothing in 4 snaps. DeMarcus Walker played okay. His PRP, 11.5, 2 pressures. Zach Pickens, 2 pressures. Montez Sweat, 3, and Jervon Dexter, 3. Only the 1 sack from DeMarcus Walker, though. I was not impressed with the pass rush. We needed to get more pressure on Jordan Love, especially when I showed before the game. When he's blitzed, he's terrible. When he has that pressure on him, he's not as good. When he has all day to pass, he's going to find the guy wide open that Matt LaFleur schemes up in this offense. That's what Matt LaFleur does. So when you've got that opportunity, you're going to hit those 60-yarders. You're going to hit those 40-yarders. And that's what Jordan Love's. It's the only way he can survive is if he just hucks it up and gets an opportunity for a guy because their defenders aren't paying attention, aren't looking, because he's not accurate. And so he was able to get a couple of those huge big-time plays that aren't necessarily him, but getting guys wide open and scheming and not getting enough pressure on him. We needed to pressure him more, and we didn't. What I'm more frustrated with is our coverage defense, especially players like Tremaine Edmonds. 29.7 coverage grade. And if you watch the game, there were a couple of big throws across the middle. He's out of position. He doesn't look anything like a huge contract middle linebacker. I have us trading him or cutting him at the end of this year because his contract is favorable to do so, and I think we need to do so. We need to bring in someone who's a true coverage linebacker who can hit hard. Even Jack Sanborn could probably be doing better than him right now, and I mean that. Jack Sanborn's grade oldly 43.8. Kyler Gordon gave up the huge pass. He and Elijah Hicks together were in on that one. Neither of them tracked the ball. I mean, they just allowed a huge pass at the end of the game that allowed them to have the touchdown. Tyreek Stevenson, 56.8. Jonathan Owens only on 3 snaps, 61.2. Kevin Byard, 53.9. These just aren't cutting the snuff. See the NFL pass rating against T.J. Edwards, 152.1. Tremaine Edmonds, 110.4. I mean, just not the best coverage grades for these guys on this game. And if you watch the game, they allowed things they shouldn't have allowed, that a Bears defense shouldn't allow. So here's our defensive duds of the game. Here's the guys who could have had better games. Guys with 50 or lower overall defensive grade. Kyler Gordon, 45.3. Elijah Hicks, 44.4. Chris Williams, Tremaine Edmonds, Jack Sanborn, Darrell Taylor, Austin Booker. And when you have this many defensive duds, teams will normally score. If it was a better firing offense, if it was a team, any team other than the Packers and pathetic Jordan Love, probably would have had 30 points, 35 points scored on us with this defense today. So I wasn't impressed by the defense at all. This was, to me, the clear weakness of the game. But, of course, the thing everyone's going to be talking about, the thing we all have to endure, this blocked field goal. The pain and the agony that it goes through the special teams. I don't have an answer on this one. Matt Eberflus said he's going to send in the tape to the league office to appeal to it, that they pushed off of the center, that they pushed off a long snapper. Nothing you can do about it now. The refs, they called that against us against the Cardinals. We got called for the exact same thing, and this was more egregious. But they knew it was coming. They knew it was going to be a low kick, that Cairo Santos doesn't have long range. So special teams kind of let the ball go on this one. A little bit of a letdown. Huge letdown. Let's show this, though. Caleb Williams in the 2024 season. This has been the big criticism on him all year. His deep ball, this whole range, 10 yards and longer. Obviously, everyone's going to be good in here. But when you get farther down there, I mean, quarterbacks should have 65 to 70 completion percentage. They should at least have that. When you're in the short range, it should be 75-ish or more. As you start to tear down, it's going to get lower, 60 to 70. And as you get into this long range, 20 or longer, you're going to have 50 or less percent completion. That's just the way it is. So it's not a shocker that Caleb's worse, deeper, didn't get any more touchdowns today. But you look at week 11, those numbers are a little bit better. Oops, took off screen. Boop, boop. 1 for 1, 0 for 1, 0 for 1. So 1 for 3, which is not terrible. 1 for 2, 1 for 1, 1 for 3. That's 3 for 6. That's 50% in here. So it is improved as you compare it to the season overall. As you go back and forth between those two, you can see there is improvement on this game. He was getting the ball out quick. He's getting the ball out efficiently. So I'm happy with Caleb. His progression on the year, we're tracking this. He has not changed the touchdown total in 4 weeks now. So we're still at 9. We're only on pace for 15 now. Rookie record for the Bears is 11. He should break that. You would think he's going to break that. I'm not sure anymore. Rookie record for passing, 2193. He should pass that in the next game for sure, easily. He's on pace for 3427. Rookie record, 3838. We want to see him break 4,000 because everyone talks about the Bears not having a quarterback that has ever broken a 4,000. I'm sorry, not rookie record. That is a Bears total record of 3838. We want to see him break 4,000. Rookie record is 2193. He'll do that soon. And then the Bears' highest completion percentage ever, 67. His percentage has come down in recent weeks because of the struggles the Bears went through. See if we can improve it. We're also tracking the wide receivers. Here's all the wide receivers, what they're on pace for. You guys asked me to put the on pace from last time. I didn't do that. So DJ Moore has 460 on the year. He's on pace for 782. Keenan Allen, 282, on pace for 479. Roman Dunze, 479, on pace for 814. And Cole Kmet, 358, on pace for 607. So that's where all these guys are on pace for right now. What we have coming up, man, guys, that's hard to look at when you see those 4 losses in a row coming out of the bye week. And every preseason, every single one of those games was, by the Vegas Sportbook, us favored to win them. Even the Packers, we were favored to win before the season started. So we have the 4 wins, the Titans, the Rams, the Panthers, and the Jaguars. And then 2 losses earlier, the Texans and the Colts, and now 4 in a row to the Commanders, Cardinals, Patriots, and Packers. Big opportunity, though, with divisional games. We did lose to the Packers. They were 0-2. They had lost to both the Vikings and the Lions. Had an opportunity to put them in the gutter, to really put the Packers down and have them 0-3 in the division. Instead, we're 0-1 in the division. Now we get the Vikings at home this next week and the Lions the week after that in Detroit on Thanksgiving, and then 3 more divisional games with the Niners and the Seahawks sandwiched in between there. The Seahawks knocked off the Niners this last week, so neither of those games is going to be a cakewalk. Here's what I had before the season started. I showed that these are 2 different times. We have 3 games in 10 or 11 days. So this was the beginning of one, 17th. See, we play the 24th, then the 28th. Then we'll have the Niners game in between it on a Monday night football game. And then we had... No, sorry, that's Sunday night. And then Monday night football game on week 15 at the Vikings. Then Sunday, week 16 at the Lions. And then Thursday, week 17 versus the Seahawks. That's 3 games in 10 days. So then we end the season with the Packers. So that's where we end off the year. Oh, tell me what you guys think. I don't know. I hope we can win a couple more games for morale. I think we can beat the Vikings. I think we can beat the Seahawks. Even if the Niners are playing the way they are, we can beat them. I don't think we have a chance against the Lions right now. I don't. But anyways, we'll get into that in another video. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. There's the grades for the Bears versus the Packers. A lot of good things happened in this game to be excited about and to look forward to. Thomas Brown, something to look forward to. If we can fire Eberflus, something to look forward to. Caleb Williams play, really good. Romo Dunze, really good. A lot of good things to take from this game. So I'm very optimistic about the Bears' future. Our playoff chances are literally like 1% right now, so I wouldn't bank on us making the playoffs. But miracles happen, and it would be fun. It would be exciting for a franchise that deserves a little excitement if we could rattle off 6 of the next 7 in one of the hardest schedules left in football. But I don't think that's going to happen. I am going to do mock drafts after every single loss this year since we're 4-6. Every time we lose, I'll do a mock draft. I did an elaborate mock draft last week. Now this week, I'll do a little less elaborate, a little more quick and succinct to the point. I'm going to try to use different players than I used before. But I will start doing mock drafts, and it's sad that we're doing mock drafts this early. That's not how we should be as a fan base, but here we are. So let me know what you guys think about this game, the grades, who played well, who played better than you thought after seeing the grades. The grades don't tell everything because, like I said, Matt Pryor slow getting out of his stance. That's clear on tape. He's a good backup, but he is not a starter in this league. So it's frustrating when we have to use him as a starter. Players like Caleb played out of their mind, though, and I was really happy to see his play. So I love it, and I look forward to seeing more in the future. So with that, appreciate you guys tuning in. If you didn't subscribe by now, please do so. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that as well. And until next time, da Bears.